I love perusing high-end retailers to get inspiration for my home, and today I'm going to show you how to get that high-end look on a thrift store budget. With the summer months approaching, places like McGee & Co., A Floral, and Magnolia have these stunning large ceramic or stoneware pitchers, and I love the scallop drop detail spout and large curved handle that adds interest to an otherwise plain object. But at prices over $100, we can do a lot better at the thrift store. I found this large hand-painted pitcher at my local Goodwill for only $7.99, and the design lines were almost identical to the McGee & Co. and A Floral versions. I have been getting into the habit of Google lensing things like this from the thrift store because you never know if something is actually worth a lot or a truly antique that you don't want to end up altering. This was made in China and just seems to be a regular dinnerware pitcher. However, I did find this full dinnerware set including the same pitcher for $400 on eBay. But this Greek-style painting doesn't exactly match my style or my home, so I'm going to alter it. I gave the pitcher a scuff sand, which honestly didn't really do anything on this super slick surface. Ideally, you would want to use a bonding primer before going in with paint on such a smooth surface like this. That way your final paint layer doesn't scratch right off, but I didn't have any spray paint primers on hand. Instead, I went right in with my spray paint. You could absolutely hand paint this pitcher, but I wanted to keep that ceramic high gloss look of the McGee & Co. inspiration, and the best way to get that perfectly smooth surface is with spray paint. And when trying to achieve such a smooth, perfect finish with spray paint, you want to go in with super light layers and hold the can further away. This is something I am not always great about doing. The first coat is going to look like you hardly did anything to it, but this is the best way to get the look and make sure that there are no drips on the object. I did notice after painting it though, there were some imperfections with the original glazing on the pitcher, and that glossy paint just made it more noticeable. But this was such an easy way to get that high-end look on a budget. I am collecting things to decorate the top of my kitchen cabinet since it's probably going to be a while before I actually get to building them out. But that is where I envision this piece going. For now, I just styled it up on my counter. Marble is a classic and timeless design material, and I have been seeing more and more retailers coming out with marble decor objects, but you can easily find similar things at the thrift stores. But another option to get that marble look is to add contact paper to an object. I was inspired by another McGee & Co. decor piece of these marble trivets under hurricane vases. So I went to Hobby Lobby to see what I could find and saw these wooden circle trinket boxes. The bottom was the perfect shape for this project. I just set the lids aside and I'll eventually do something with them. I painted the inside of the dish since you will see that through the glass face. Now for the contact paper, heat is your best friend here. I'm using a heat gun, but a hairdryer also works and might actually be better for something like this. Since my heat gun is pretty powerful, I'm hitting the contact paper with it very quickly and moving it away, then molding and smoothing the paper around the dish. This circle shape was one of the more challenging things that I've ever covered with contact paper. It did wrinkle up a little bit on the edges, and if you used a wider strip than I did, it would help eliminate some of that struggle. You can go over the contact paper multiple times if you need to. Just be careful when stretching it so you don't make it too thin and end up putting a hole in it. At first I wasn't stretching the edges enough over the top, and as I went I realized that I could stretch it out a little bit further to really get those wrinkles out. So I went back and I was able to redo that first portion. This twisted brass bookend from Magnolia popped up on my Pinterest feed, and I immediately thought I could make this with materials that I already have. I've had this Sculpey air dry porcelain clay for a long time and I've yet to use it. I've never used the porcelain clay before and was completely thrown off when it was wrapped in plastic wrap inside of the packaging. I've never seen that on my air dry clays before. But this porcelain clay is supposed to stay super smooth, and let me tell you, it is unlike any clay I have ever used. I could not believe how truly smooth and porcelain-like it turned out. I did cut a piece of wire to be the support in the center of the clay and then completely forgot to actually twist the clay around the wire, so that was a waste, but I thought once the clay dries, it should be able to support itself standing up. You can see once it dried just how completely smooth and perfect it is. I've never seen a clay perform like this. It was so amazing, and I spray painted it brass off camera. For a stand, the Magnolia version had a thin brass stand, but I wanted to stick with that marble theme, and I grabbed a little scrap piece of wood from my garage. This time I'm using the Dollar Tree peel and stick wallpaper panels that come in a marble finish. Initially, I just used super glue to attach the clay to the faux marble block, but it kept leaning forward without that wire support in the center, and eventually it ripped off of that smooth contact paper surface. So I cut 2 small pieces of the wire down and I drilled a hole into the bottom of the clay and into the wood block to act as a support. Frames are so easy to find at the thrift stores, but in my area, I don't often come across unique and different types of frames. They're usually just the standard wood or plastic in a rectangle shape. I've been seeing this twisted wood frame style in a few retailers, and Home Depot sells this twisted trim in 2 different sizes, so I'm just gonna make my own version. I've been working on building out a gallery wall and collecting various types of frames for it, and to get more dimension, I'm also going to create a few as well. To get that frame look behind the twisted trim, I'm using foam core board, and then I glued this thin wood trim down around it, and then that twisted trim will go right on top. Make sure you subscribe to see how I'm gonna build out this gallery wall with all of the frames that I've been collecting and making. I know I've mentioned it several times lately, but scallop trim details are everywhere in home decor right now, and I am obsessed with them. You can oftentimes find objects with the scalloped edges at the thrift store. This tall vase was only $5.99 and such a great shape. I didn't end up picking this one up, and I was disappointed in myself that I had left it behind. I did thrift this scallop detail planter years ago, and I want to give it a little facelift. It is super filthy as is and not real terracotta, it's only resin, so I'm not upset about having to make it over. There's also a crack in one of those scallop edges. My goal was to give this planter an old, organic, worn and weathered look inspired by this one from Magnolia, and to be honest, I don't really love how it turned out, and it doesn't look anything like the Magnolia version, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I wanted to add a good bit of texture, and I mixed up this grout that I've had left over from other projects. I always end up adding too much water at first. It is so easy to do that when you only need a little splash. So I kept adding more grout until I had the right consistency, which for me was thicker for this project. I used a chip brush to apply the grout all over the planter and didn't really pay much attention to how it was being applied since I'm going for an organic look. Since I colored the grout with black paint, when it dried, it looks a lot like cement. You could sand it down a little bit to knock down any of those rough peaks and leave it just like this. Cement planters are also trending in the high-end stores. This one looks a lot like this Magnolia version, but it's not exactly what I wanted for this project, just giving you some options. With the planter sanded down a bit, I grabbed an arsenal of paints to achieve this old world organic look. When doing something like this with lots of layers and depth, I try to study the inspiration image and understand what colors are in it, what undertones do they have, and look for similar colors in my stash to use. Like I mentioned, this ended up looking nothing like my inspo from Magnolia. It turned out so much darker and didn't have that same depth that I was trying to achieve. I've learned that I am just not very good at trying to do this and getting that authentic old organic look. I really do try, but it just never turns out how I want it to. I do have another idea for this planter that I'm gonna try in an upcoming video, so stay tuned to see if that version works out, and with that, I'll see you in the next one real soon.